enough heaviness going on outside in the outside world, but we do have to cover serious topics. And this is something a lot of our soulmates have been wanting us to cover, and we have to. This story that's trending on social media, last month, 25-year-old Shanquella Robinson traveled to Mexico with a group of friends, and she died there after she was allegedly beaten by one of her so-called friends. Someone leaked a video of the alleged attack against Robinson on social media, but we're not gonna show it because it is disturbing. Now, Robinson's death sparks conversations on social media, how everyone is not your friend, and the importance of keeping your friend circle tight. Now, one of Robinson's friends called her mother and claimed that she died of alcohol poisoning. But an autopsy report obtained by her parents indicates her neck was broken and she had a severe spinal cord injury. No arrests have been made, but her death is being investigated as a criminal matter. Thank God the FBI has gotten involved. They've reached out to her family. Al, let's start with you. What are your thoughts on this story?
I mean, this can't get any more unfortunate. We know from the story that she actually talked to her mother before the day of the incident, and she was telling her mother that things were a little bit awkward or whatever, only for her mother to find out the next 2 days that indeed she had been injured and hurt and died. And let me tell you something, that gentleman that did that recording, if I was the prosecutor, that gentleman that did the recording, I would charge him with aiding and abetting to get him to talk so that he would tell us everything that went on during that time of the beating, because we know that they are collaborating together and saying that it was alcohol poisoning. But we know from the video that we saw that it clearly was not alcohol poisoning. And not only did she have severe spinal cord injuries, she had what was called atlas luxation, which means that her vertebrae and her top two vertebrae were dislocated. So I think if the prosecutors want to get some insight and some inroads in this, I would charge that young man for aiding and abetting, because if you film a crime that leads to a death, you could be held liable in the state of California.
That's right. All right. Q, what do you think?
Every single last one of their ass need to go to prison. Every single last one. The moment that they all conspired to tell that girl mama that story about alcohol poisoning is the moment all of them were guilty, as far as I'm concerned. I don't know if y'all saw earlier today, but it's been floating around on the blog site. A new video surfaced today of her walking through the hotel room looking for her friend, saying, "Where y'all at? It don't take that long to put the bathing suit on." And that girl was not intoxicated. And from my read on the other girl's body language, when she walked into the room, you could already tell that there had been discussion and there was going to be some type of setup and something that was going to go down. I don't know what money does for a family after someone has been murdered, but I definitely like to mention that Kyrie Irving has stepped up to the plate and donated $65,000 to her GoFundMe. I always say, pay me for my pain. This isn't a pain that you can be paid for, but hopefully it provides some level of comfort for the family while the FBI does what they need to do. But everybody else involved need to go to jail, with the exception of the young man who had his plane ticket, who said, "I flew in the next day, I was not there." You know what I'm saying? Even part of his story is a little sketchy, because he was like, "I went and checked in on Quilla," or whatever the case may be, when I first got there. But the fact that he wasn't there, I'm going to give him a pass.
Again, and I'm glad you mentioned the Kyrie Irving thing. I definitely want to get to that. He actually does a lot of stuff like that, and I thought that was amazing that he quietly did it. He just donated in the GoFundMe, and it was us, the media, that saw that. He didn't put it out there. So I want to bring something up that I found online, right? That video I did see where she was talking about putting the bathing suits on. It seemed like the friends were not really feeling her, right? They was kind of cold to her, like, yeah, whatever, girl. So I found this comment under one of the story posted, right, from someone named Rebecca Brown Stevens. And she says, and this is all alleged, we have not been able to fact check this, but I want to just provide a little I don't know, little text, little something extra to the story. This is what this person alleges. When the truth comes out, you're all going to look stupid. Shaquella got effed up because she was trying to set this boy up back home and he got killed. The girl who beat her up was cousins with the boy and found out about the setup on the trip. That's why Shaquella wasn't fighting, because she felt guilty. And the girl who beat her up had good intentions. Things just went left. I don't know if that's true, but I wonder if that makes sense as to why they were being shady to her. But still, whatever the issue was, you don't kill this girl. You call the police. So again, we will definitely keep y'all posted. But I found that comment interesting, and I reached out to the person to be like, do you know the family? Do you know these people? Because I wanted to do a little fact checking on my own. So I just want to say, alleged, not making an excuse for this woman. They still, regardless of this backstory, they still need to all be put in prison.
Yeah.
Right. Well, we also know that the country of Mexico has opened a case of femicide, which is the killing of a female, of a woman. So look, this is getting ugly.
And they better hope they ass don't go to prison in Mexico.
Yeah, you don't want to mess around over there. Our thoughts and prayers with the family and friends, and such a tragedy. Like, this is insane, insane.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. I want to make sure that everybody can hear me. So just press 1 if you can hear me. Hello, everyone. Good evening. I want to make sure that everybody can hear me. So just press 1 if. Just press 1. I know I'm getting a little bit of feedback. Just press 1 if you can hear me, everyone. Okay, this is Pro-White Male Leadership. We're going to have a live today. The live will be the Black race, the Black women, Black womanhood versus the Black race. I am going to have 2 guests on here today for opinions on to see what's going on. I wanted to show that clip really quick because it is very important right now for Black women to stay safe as much as possible. We are now moving ourselves away from the Black race. And unfortunately, a lot of Black people are going to become very upset with us, and they might even try to hurt us. Be wary of mothers, brothers, uncles, cousins, friends, whoever. Unfortunately, at this time, because we are currently moving away from this race and this culture, because it is not a healthy environment for Black women. I would like to introduce my co-host today. His name is Mark Bavitt. Mark, are you there?
Yeah, I'm there. How you doing?
I want to make sure you can hear Mark. You hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, great. I'm just waiting for Brent. Let me just make sure everything is going good. Yes. So moving forward, while we wait for Brent, I wanted to speak about what is the climate right now for Black women, unfortunately, in our own community. And I wanted your opinion, being that you are married to a Black woman. Congratulations, you just got married to a beautiful Black woman.
Mhm.
And you also are raising Black daughters as well, if I'm not mistaken. Is that correct?
I've got 3 daughters from a previous marriage. So
Yeah.
okay, 2 of them are grown up anyway. But I've got a 9-year-old that I'm raising with my ex-wife as well. Obviously, she doesn't live with me at the time, but I've got I get as much time as possible with her.
Right. So I wanted your opinion on this. Oh, here we go. Hello, Brent. How are you today?
Hey, how's it going? Good to see you.
Hi,
Yes,
Ben.
Hey,
I'm
Mark,
so
how's it
happy.
going?
Yes, I am so happy to have both of you here today. And I wanted both of you here today because you both are married to Black women and you all both are raising Black daughters.
Mhm.
And there's an unfortunate situation that previously happened in Mexico where a Black girl went to Mexico with supposed friends, and supposedly she was murdered by those friends. And we're in a situation right now that we are going to be leaving this community, and things are going to be a little dangerous for us. As you, in your opinion, your perspective, what do you think Black women should do at this time?
I think Black women should do what's in their best interest. What's best for Black women. I think Black women need to put themselves first for a change. A lot of times, Black women put everybody else in front of themselves. Um, and, Black women are loving and loyal, and that's a blessing. But it can be a curse too. A lot of times, Black women will hold out and, they'll try to improve the situation sometimes when it can't be improved. But Black women need to do what's best for Black women at this point. And this story, I'm kind of new to the story. I haven't really researched it. I heard little bits and pieces of this, but it looks like a setup from a setup, sort of say. And I think it's kind of dangerous when we get into the stuff like that. And I think it kind of comes from the hip hop culture, you might say. Things going on in the streets, and that's just my opinion. I'm not in that culture, but it just seems that I don't know. There's setups going on. There's
Well, we just played the video. You weren't here, but according to them, what one of the friends are claiming now is that, and this is something that a lot of the Black community will say about Black women, is that we're setting up murders in the community. So supposedly, the girl that was murdered set up one of her friend's cousin, and he was killed. This is what is being said now by one of the friends.
Oh, okay. So it's like a setup to get even for another setup. I don't know. This just seems so toxic. Like, I mean, it's sad. I mean, I don't know. I'd have to look deeper into this story, but they're saying that Black women are setting people up.
Yeah, that's been actually a supposed theory for decades in the Black community, that Black women are orchestrating a lot of the murders in the Black community, supposedly. That is Black women that are doing this. Now, what people are not understanding is that because there is a high increase of Black transgender males, they are claiming to be females, and they're the ones who's actually doing a lot of the crimes. It's not actually biological Black women. It's actually Black men claiming to be Black women that are transgender.
I don't know. Just wow. I think it's just, I don't know. In my humble opinion, I think it comes from the hip hop culture. Life in the streets, setting people up. We've seen rappers, uh, being sent to meet their makers. And it's kind of, it's weird. It's disturbing. And it makes me wonder. These guys are making so much money, but yet they still go to the street life. I'm thinking, if you come from the streets, it's bad. The dangers. And people that aren't from there know it's dangerous. So if you lived it and you have enough, wouldn't you want to get away from that environment or even that culture, because it just seems toxic and dangerous, like your life's on the line every minute. But this setup thing, what were these women thinking? Like, they're going to get back and nothing's going to happen to them? And two wrongs never made a right. Evil for evil, if it was a setup to set up a setup or whatever they're saying. I don't know what happened. It just seems sad that they would take this woman down to Mexico and send her to meet her maker and beat her down that bad, severing her spine. And I mean, you got to beat somebody pretty bad to inflict that much damage. It just, and then the guy filming it, why didn't he step in? Why didn't he call the authorities? Or I mean, why would you just film something that's happening where somebody's having their life taken away from them? I don't understand that either. That's just,
Well, the interesting part of this case is that this girl was not a part of the street life. She was 25 years old. She was an entrepreneur. She had two different businesses. So she was not a part of the street life. She actually paid for those friends to go there, and also there's claiming that they also stole $10,000 from her. This was not a Black girl. She was not a baby mom. She wasn't on welfare. She was an entrepreneur. She was also a model as well. She modeled for her own boutique as well. She's a very beautiful girl. I'm going to try to get a picture up here. Mark, if you don't mind me, could you add in a couple of words just to get your opinion?
Yes, this is the first I've heard of it as well. It is shocking as to what happened. But it sounds like, as I say, we're being set up. Could it be that they were trying to scam her out of some money? She may have refused the money and just decided to kill her in the end. Obviously, having it photographed at the same time or videoed at the same time is absolutely shocking.
Yes, there's another case like this that happened a couple of years ago with a girl that was 21 she had a business in Baltimore, Maryland. And she had two people that stole $3,000 worth of hair from her. And a couple of weeks later, she was shot in her head. And this has been a big thing in the Black community where a lot of Black female owners are murdered, unfortunately, and a lot of it is theft. I wanted to cover this story because I feel that a lot of things are happening to Black women, and a lot of it has to do with because a lot of us are elevating ourselves and we're moving on to a healthier culture. Because unfortunately, for whatever reason, the Black culture, the Black race is a very toxic culture. It is not a healthy environment for any woman to be in. Unfortunately, we have a group of men that have failed in leadership globally, not just in the United States. And Mark, you were in England, if I'm not mistaken. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
Yes. So I'm hearing that the same thing is occurring in England as well. Is that true or not?
Yeah, it is. It has been occurring, but I've not heard of anything lately. But it is shocking that things that's happening in the States is actually coming over here as well.
Okay. So, yeah. So, Brent, would you like to add anything else to this?
Well, I mean, this is horrible. And what you state about her not being from the streets or baby's mom or anything within the culture, maybe it could be they were jealous of her because she's very beautiful and she's a model. And, maybe they had a problem with her success and her beauty and, just living her best life. And maybe they knew she had some money and maybe they didn't mean to, take her life away. Maybe they just wanted to beat her down, make an example and take her money. And, they might have gotten the heat of the moment with anger and so much hate. They end up doing so much damage to her that they take her life away from her. I would probably assume, and like I said, it's new to me. I would assume that's probably what happened. Going off what you said and what little bits and pieces I got from it. But that's disturbing. And were the women with her Black women also, or was it?
It was, from what I'm getting, because they're still unfolding the story. So I keep watching different news clippings. I'm gonna send you guys some of those news clippings because we probably will have to have a part 2 on this
Okay.
because this is actually a very common thing in the Black community where people will gang up on one Black woman. This is a
Yeah.
very common thing, actually. It's not, it's a very common thing, actually, that happens, especially if you are like dating out, if you're starting a business, if you're getting an education, things like that. Moving forward, if you're just not living a certain way, because this is a very, it's a very controlling culture. They want to control you. So moving forward, I'm trying to see if I can get a couple of the ladies up here. Do you guys have anything else to say at this time?
Yeah, I just want to reiterate what Sweet Tea was saying. There's a lot of jealousy. By saying there's a lot of jealousy going on. That Black women are now starting to, as you say, become business owners, earn their own money, and it's like the Black community just don't like it. I think they're more scared of the power that the Black women can actually have, and they're trying to suppress it by just getting rid of these women because they're trying to look after themselves and make a business of themselves and actually look after themselves.
You know what? I have to agree with what Mark said, and that's what's happening. Black women, in so many ways, are making things happening in our society, and I see it, in my country, and I'm sure in the UK or Canada, Black women are doing the same. They're rising above and beyond, and within America, Black women are the most educated right now, biggest group of educated people. And in fact, the biggest entrepreneur group right now. They're opening more businesses. They're making money. It's like Black women are rising above and beyond. And I think that kind of scares, maybe in the so-called community, scares
Yeah.
people because once Black women get success, you're not going to be able to control them like you have in the past during segregation and stuff, because Black women can be with any group of men they want to be with. And look, and powerful women are going to get with powerful men, and it should be that way. And I think people are fearing this because they're going to get with men that are successful, and then they're successful. And I think some of the beta kings out there that have nothing going for them are afraid that they're not going to have control what they've had in the past. You know what I'm saying? So I think this is in this story, I think it's a cultural thing that led to this. I think it's a jealousy thing, and I think, and I've seen stories, and I don't want to get off topic, but I've seen stories of interracial couples that have been, assaulted for being together, Black women, white men. When I was in the Army, there was a Marine couple. Well, he was in the Marines in Camp Pendleton. He was married to a Black woman, very beautiful. He was successful. He was a leader. And some of the men in his unit were jealous, came in and sent him and his wife to meet their maker, and done so many ungodly things to his wife and made him watch, and then took them both out. That is happening. There are a lot of attacks on Black women dating out, marrying out. A lot of Black women are scared to admit that they're opening up their options. And I'm not saying all. I'm sure it's a small group doing this to these people, but it's happening. And it's disturbing because jealousy is a dangerous thing. And, even me doing my YouTube channel, I watch my back. I'm always packing. Okay. Because I know there are people that have hate for the message I have, but I have to put this message because Black women right now in America are on dangerous ground. Black women are the least protected, most disrespected, and Black women need to, and I'll say this, and I know this is going to anger people, need to divest, get to a better community, especially Black women in the inner city. You need to get out of there. You need to get with men that love you, that will protect you. And I'm not saying all communities are dangerous, but from what I've seen in stats, look, and when men depend on you with their livelihood and you're not performing no more, and then they feel like a nothing and they're jealous, that's when they get dangerous. Jealous people are the most dangerous. They really are. Because they feel desperate and they're so angry, they'll make moves that will destroy them, but at the heat of the moment, they're not thinking straight. And I think with this woman that was attacked, they weren't thinking straight. They were caught up in emotions, anger, jealousy, I believe, and they went too far. I think they were just going beat her up and take her money. I think that's what, and it just went too far. But anyway, that's just my opinion.
No, because there's this notion in the Black community, in the Black race period, where, even this is something that we're told in the community and even by our family members, that, people cannot be jealous of us. So this is why I tell Black women all the time that you're not safe around these group of people, because they don't think anybody can be jealous of you. So they're not going to be able to protect you if they think that way. I don't know if that makes sense or not. You can tell me. But you could tell me, Brent, and then we'll get to the ladies real quick and see what they got to say about this.
What if nobody can be jealous of you? I mean, people could be jealous of anybody. But I think people, it's crazy. There's so many people angry at Black women that don't want to see Black women succeed, and even some Black women are like that. It's weird. I don't get it. I've been called a white supremacist and a racist more than any time in my life, and that started happening when I started showing love and how much I admired Black women. And it's weird. It makes no sense, but I don't know. I don't get it. But it's like Black women are being targeted. And even by Black women, like, you got to stay in your place. You can't date out. You can't marry out. You got to stay where you're at. And if you're successful, they hate that too. It's like, and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm seeing things the way they're really not. But that's what I am interpreting on what's going on. And it's just sad that a beautiful Black woman that has her life ahead of her will be sent to the grave for what? Jealousy? Because she's doing something? She's pretty? I mean, it's like you're protected when you're miserable and nothing's going good for you, but when you're successful, you're a target. I don't know.
Brent,
Well, that's basically it.
Getting back to what you said just now about protecting Black women, I think the reason why you're being called a racist is because the Black guys can't step up and actually protect the women in their community. So because likes of you, myself, and all these other white guys who are divesting with the Black women, they are getting jealous that they know that these men know that they should be actually protecting them, and they don't like it. And that's why Black women like this are losing their life, because they have started divesting.
Mm-hmm.
Ladies, would you like to say anything?
Yeah. Hi, Brent. Hi, Mark. Hey, pro white male leadership.
How you doing?
What's going on?
Hey. So yeah, this entire thing, it's so spooky. It reminds me of those jealous girls in high school who tried to show off in front of the even more jealous dudes too. And like, they knew that they could bully particular girls, and then when they got them alone, they could just do whatever they wanted to them. Like, I've seen this happen. I've seen like fights in locker rooms because of envy and jealousy. And then, like, I was always one of those girls who, I feel like I was always divested in a way. I had always separated myself from Blackistan. And my mama always tried to tell me that girls be jealous of me and that's why they were so mean and nasty to me. And I don't think I felt it until like later on in life, until like senior year, when I knew that like those other girls were just ratchet and loud and ghetto. And then like I didn't want to be around that type of black woman. Like I know that may sound a little bad, but I know that there is a particular type of black woman that I do not want to be around and that I do want to separate myself from. And that is the blackistani, mammy black woman who will do any and everything to get picked by a black man.
And you know what's the sad part about this too? It's also an Hispanic also involved in this.
Mm-hmm.
So when I say to you, when they deal with these other groups of people, 9 times out of 10, it's trash. Okay. And people will say that I'm wrong for that. So there's also a Hispanic female that's also involved with this as well. So like I said, be very careful with black males, especially because I have a lot of black men that come on my live and tell me how they know white men that are bad. And I don't know why they think by saying that I don't know what that's supposed to mean to
They're
me.
being disingenuous because they know the majority of white men are not like that. I've literally sat down and had conversations with these men. Literally, Blackistan would be pissed off at the conversation I had Thursday night because I sure was cooning and shucking and jiving, but I'm not going to go there. These men are mad. They're pissed that we get to expand our options and do what we want, and that doesn't involve them. That's why they're mad.
Mm.
Yeah, because supposedly the person that did the fatal, I think it was the person, the one that did the fatal blow, from the information that I'm receiving, because they're doing updates on this like every few hours, is the Hispanic female, but the transgender male, which is a black man, it wasn't actually a female, it was a transgender male that started the fight. That's what the news report is saying now.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Ooh. Okay. I might have to research this thing.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm gonna send you the link, Brent.
Okay. Yeah, I'll research it. Yeah, this is all crazy. This is. I
That's
mean,
where
they didn't.
Sorry,
They
that's
didn't
where
have
the
to.
black men will take you.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna send you all the links, Brent. I'm gonna send you all the links, and then maybe we'll do a part 2 because you didn't watch that video. I didn't send. Yeah, you didn't watch
Yeah.
that video, but I'm gonna send you everything because the story keeps updating. So I'm getting bits and pieces of it right now. Like I can be wrong on certain things, but that's what's coming out right now.
Okay.
Hi, everybody.
What's
Hello.
going on?
Not much. It's unfortunately, us black women, we always gonna take L's from these black male and the black community, period, because black women are not vigilant. They very careless about their own well-being. You know, they focus about everyone but themselves. You know, and I don't even know why they do what they do, and it seems like it's all of us globally, black women that are like that, not just American ones. And it is sad because these male are very selfish. You know, when it comes to pro-black, they only mean themselves, minus us, the women and the kids. And then for the black women, when they say pro-black, they don't even include themselves. They focus on these males that literally taking them out whenever they want and feel like it. And these pick me females, mammies, cannot be trusted. And unfortunately, we can't even trust our own self to wake up from being delusional and see things for what it is. And unfortunately, this community is against us, Black women and kids. This community is not for us. It's not benefit any of us, Black women and kids. And whenever we open up to whatever it is that backward community want us to open up into, it turn out to be not a good thing for us. We always turn out to be the victim. I just wish that as far as for me, I could care less about any of them, from my family to the Black community community. The hell with all of them. As far as, not all is a dead one for me, because they all nonsense. They all dusties. Because personally, I don't know any good ones. So that's why I can't really say not all, because a good Black male is a dead one, just like a not all one. Um, I really wish it's scary, because Black women all participate in the hatred that come in toward them. They allow it. I know we can make it stop, but unfortunately, they're not willing to love themselves. You
Well, the
know,
problem the problem is that they are indoctrinated. That's the problem. And unfortunately, Black women are taught not to like themselves and other Black women. So that's really what the problem is. I think that a lot of the women that are like us, the indoctrination, it did not stick with us for whatever
hell
reason.
no.
Maybe we're wired differently,
Yes, we are.
or or some of us have also been in some other communities with other groups of men, and that has also, and also women, Black women integrating in the corporate world, being around other races of men as well. So I think that's why the indoctrination is sticking with some, but it's starting to wear off with some, and some just don't have it at all. That's what I truly believe, because there's no way that we're in the situation that we're in and you still have Black women acting like what's happening is not happening. Something is very wrong here.
Yeah, I mean, I
Black men, on the
go.
other hand, are going to lie, they're going to cheat, they're going to be manipulative, because that's what they always did. So that's a different story. They're going to always make it seem like we just want these bad men and we're having kids and we're creating this community where that's just the way they're going to do it. That's just what it is.
Hey, I want to address a comment. Pretty boy Cyrus
Yeah, I was looking
having
at it. Yeah.
having discussion with white men who ain't never been in the Black community. Well, that's true, but here's the thing: your dysfunction is being put out to the world. We see it on the news. We see it in reporting in the newspaper. We see it in crime analysis. I mean, we don't have to be there to see what evil is going on. We don't need to be in the Black community to see that Black women are being assaulted. We don't need to be in the Black community to see that Black women are being mistreated. We don't need to be in the Black community to see that only 27% of Black women are married. We don't need to be in the Black community to see all this dysfunction. No, sir, we don't. So we can have this discussion because we see what's going on. We see it in our lives. We don't have to be in the so-called community, because you know what? This dysfunction is even happening in the good communities, even in the suburbs. It's a look. It it's a cultural thing. It has nothing to do with the so-called community. And in fact, there's Black and white people in the inner cities, in the suburbs, in the wealthy communities. So we see it across the board. We don't have to be in the so-called Black community. We see it in our lives every day. We see it on the news. We see it in reporting. So I just want to address that, because he thinks because I don't live in the so-called Black community, I shouldn't have to talk, but I am. I don't care what this clown thinks. And you know what? I defend Black women. You know what? And I'm going, yes, I'm going to go in on Black men to protect Black women. You call me racist all you want. I don't care. I'm doing it. I'm going for it. And you know what? We're going to compete for Black women. And look, if you're threatened by a middle-aged white guy married to a black woman for 3 decades, you know what? You should be threatened, because these black women are seeing that us white men are showing true love and respect, and we're coming with love and resources, something you're not doing. So yeah, you should be afraid, but what you should do is build yourself, make yourself better, make yourself the best option instead of whining and complaining. Anyway, that's my short rant. Okay.
Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, you guys hear me. Yeah, for some reason I'm a little delayed, but Brent, you can rant all you want. That's what this channel is for. Yeah, it seems like we're having a little technical, because why should Black Women Settle keeps going out as well. So StreamYard is probably tripping right now. But
Yeah.
but moving forward, Mark, could you tell us a little bit what is going on with the Black race in where you're at right now? Because you said you were in England. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yeah.
Yes.
It's not as bad as what I'm hearing over in the United States, but there are things like this happening over there, and it just seems like I don't know what it is. If it's the same sort of, it's like with the gun problem out in the United States, that we're now getting guns brought over here because it's from the actual culture it's coming from. How can I put it? It's like whatever happens in America always filters across to us, but not as bad. I don't know whether it was in the hip hop culture or anything like that, but it's just like a disease that's coming from the US over to here.
Yep. Hey, pretty boy Cyrus, can I address this clown?
Of course, Brent. Go ahead. That's why we love you guys here.
The government plays black women not to be with black men. I guess you didn't know that. No, the government's paying black women because you won't be with a black woman, because you're pumping, dumping black women, because you're impregnating them and you're not marrying them. That's why we're paying black women. We're doing the job you're not doing. And in fact, you call me Billy Bob, it's actually Brad, okay? And Brad's going, roll up in your neighborhood, get a Keisha, lift her up, marry her, give her wealth and resources, and give her a good home. And then she's going to be so successful, she's going to uplift and make that Brad much more successful and powerful than he ever knew he could be. And you're going to have a front seat there, pretty boy Cyrus. I hope you enjoy the show. Maybe you can learn something. Just saying. But yeah, keep being the victim, pretty boy Cyrus, or Tricky Troll Tyrone. Whatever. I'll give you a name. Okay, I just had to.
Yeah, Brent, this channel is for you guys, so you guys can express yourself, because you know what? I think that black men have so much to say about y'all, and I never hear you guys say anything. You know, this is the platform. You guys created this platform, and I feel like you guys should have a voice, because it seems like black men have so much to say about y'all, and I want to hear it from you,
I can't believe the rhetoric that this pretty boy Cyrus is coming out with, that the government are paying us or paying the black women to be with us. They don't have to pay us. It's, as Brent said, you guys need to step up and be the man that you should actually be, and otherwise you wouldn't lose these black women.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I personally don't listen to any of them, because they have nothing intelligent to say. First of all, when they came off the boat, to America, they wasn't checking for us. When they got out of the plantation, the boat, wherever they came out of, they were checking for everyone but non-black women. And now that some of us are choosing ourselves, it's a problem. But they always been the problem. It's okay for them to be degenerate, because unfortunately, they don't have anything good in them for them to be good about. But then again, once we start opening up our eyes and option, you know, it's like the world is falling apart because we're not supposed to love ourselves. We're supposed to be mute a carpet or whatever it is that they want us to be to them, so they could be delusional enough to think that they are mean, that they are not. I really don't listen to them because it's like whenever I listen to them, they bring my blood pressure so high to a point where it's like it's not worth it. And then whatever they say don't phase me, because first of all, they don't even have a middle school level to understand what they're doing. And it's very unfortunate that we listen to them, especially these memes that keep want to birth them to existence, when all they're gonna do is disappointing themselves and us and society, because they grow up to be nobody. They grow up to be murder, killer, destroyer. That's all they do. They have nothing good to say or to give. To
Yeah.
them, they think having sex with white women is a pride, is whatever it is that they think it is. So basically, that's the only thing they have to offer is their nonsense dick.
Yeah. This pretty boy Cyrus guy. He's triggered. I
They all triggered, not just him. They all
yeah,
triggered because
yeah.
they nonsense.
They're
He,
triggered because they can't provide for us the way that White Zaddy can.
yeah. Well, White Zaddy's going. Hey, let me tell you something. Pretty boy Cyrus, you don't have the strength or courage to marry a black woman. I get it. You want to see what she's going to do for you. And then you want to talk about going extinct. Okay, whatever, bro. If white people go extinct, you're going with us. That means all of humanity's going. Um, but yeah, go ahead and say that if you feel better. I know you wish that white people would disappear so you wouldn't have to compete. I get it. I get it. But you know what? We're going to compete, and we're going to compete for the black woman. And you know what? Hey, I'm just a preview of what's coming.
That's right.
I'm just a preview. I I've dated black women since '85. I got married in '94, and you know what? The black woman has lifted me into a status I never even thought I would ever dream of being. And you know why? Because I showed her love and respect. You know what? I give black women the love and respect they deserve. And you know what? I'm blessed by it. God will bless me because of that. He will hold you in judgment because you're not doing what you're supposed to with black women. And you're going to see white men, Asian men, Hispanics roll up and marry a black woman, and she's going to live her best life. So, you can cry and whine about anything you want and hope we go extinct so you don't have to compete. But the thing of it is actually you're going extinct because you're the beta king that can't do nothing, can't build nothing, can't provide, can't. You're just useless. You're just there. It's like
Is he, Jen, is he one of these?
Brett,
Listen, hold on for a second. Listen, there is no way we're gonna let white men go extinct, okay? Because if what they can't, are you kidding me? We would all be dead. We would have nothing. No running water, no electricity. Are you
Look at
serious? We would have no
Africa.
job.
Look at Haiti.
We would
Look at
never let you
Jamaica.
go. Look at Haiti, look at Africa. I mean, we would never let you guys go. Trust me. Listen, there's all these good black men, right? But there's no good black men to run their own countries.
None.
Can anybody answer that question?
That's what I'm saying.
Nobody can,
That's
right?
that's why I say a not good black male is a dead one. A good black male is a dead one. A big black male is a dead one. A handsome black male is a dead one because they're useless. The only thing they're good for is when they're dead. That way you're gonna bury their asses and you don't have to deal with none of their crap. That's the only time they're good.
No, but wait,
Nonsense.
see, we need someone to live in the prisons. We need people
No,
to do community
I
service.
feel like it's a daycare center because I'm not trying to waste my money, pay for their, because
Wait a minute. Hold on.
Hey.
But they were already doing that, and you guys decided to do that fist pumping. And I'm not saying y'all,
Don't say you
but
guys.
this is why I
Oh,
know,
hey,
but at the end of the day, we're all Black women. Oh, sorry, Brent. What's
That's
up?
true.
Oh, I want to address this pretty boy Cyrus. He says, explain why 70% of abortion clinics are in the Black neighborhoods. Why? Because you allow it, sir. Why? Because you're not taking responsibility for impregnating these women. And you put them in a desperate situation where they'll go have abortions. And look, hey, and I know I'm going to offend some people. I'm not for abortion at all of anybody. But here's the thing. You allow it to happen. That's why it's happening. Where are you fighting to get those clinics out of your neighborhood if it's so bad? Seriously, explain that. It's not in my neighborhood because my neighborhood, we won't stand for it. They're not going to put that in our neighborhood. That's why they don't have liquor stores in every corner because we're not going to allow it. You need to do the same. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
Brent,
so Brent, sorry, this pretty boy Cyrus sounds like he's from the Black Manosphere, and I'll say,
Yeah.
he needs to go and help Omar build that school he's building out there.
Yeah.
It's, as you were saying just about about why they're building these abortion clinics, it's because of this pump and dump mentality that some of these Black men have.
Yeah. And if they would marry the women, there wouldn't be a need for that clinic, would there?
Exactly.
They would go out of business because you would be married to the women in your community. And I'm just saying.
Wait a
And
minute.
you know what?
You guys
You
want
know
this
what,
pretty
guys?
boy Cyrus to come up? Do you guys want to talk to him?
Oh yeah, bring him up. If he's
Let's
brave
bring him
enough,
up.
bring
All
him
right. Black man is
You know why that these clinics are in the Black community is because when these pick me have these baby, these dusties gone, and the government is the one that are taking care of these kids. If they're not gonna be responsible, to take care of these kids when they pregnant these female, yeah, the abortion clinic need to be in the Black community so that nonsense could be stopped because everybody are tired taking care of these babies that are birthing, without a father figure.
Yeah, but they don't want to take responsibility. They can end those clinics by doing the right thing. I mean,
They won't do the right thing because it's not in them. All they want to do is be degenerate and evil. So yeah, there should be more abortion clinic and the Black community because no Black female should be giving birth to these nonsense. Because they always turn out to be single baby mama so they could go on welfare, get food stamp, Section 8 to take care of these nonsense kids. And I'm tired of it. I mean,
well,
And I mean, I'm not even like pro-abortion that much either, but I'm pro stop having sex with them.
yeah,
Yeah.
me too. Exactly. But they're not going to stop. So therefore, I have to be pro-abortion because these females are not going to stop.
Mhm.
I mean, I could care less if they're born to this planet because they're useless. They don't bring nothing to this planet but degenerate and evil. All they do is destroying, stealing, and killing. That's all they do. Like I could care less. I wish I could wake up tomorrow and they all disappeared.
Yeah.
yeah, I wish she could. Hey, where's pro leadership? Where'd she go? She dropped off. Okay, well, we'll continue on. Yeah, but
StreamYard is really acting up.
it is. They probably don't like the conversation. These beta kings are calling stream.
But they love the manosphere. They love these dusties talking all their nonsense. They love them because they never go out of business.
I see we've got another one in the chat as well. The Raza Africana. Apparently, the women on the panel, they go with us white men because the Black men have rejected them. What a load of crap! It's because Black men don't know how to handle them. That's what it is.
They children. They're not responsible for nothing. They're
Exactly.
not even responsible
And
for
see,
Honestly,
listen, this is why so many black women are gravitating to white men, because you guys seems to be the only one that just knows how to handle them.
Yeah,
That's
that's
why
true.
Yeah.
you're the
Well,
only. That's the only
hey,
time. It's Go ahead, Brent.
no, I was just like, no, I was reading this comment. LOL, women on their paddle are the women and the black men rejected. Okay. Well, black men have rejected 73% of black women.
That's right.
Okay. Yeah. So, yeah, they probably are rejected by you because you can't man up. You can't marry them. You can't raise a family. You don't look. Black women have to come to white men. Seriously. I mean, and I'm not being funny. You rejected 73% of black women. So, okay, yeah, they're probably the rejected ones, and they're tired of you. They're tired of you not stepping up. You know, you won't reject a woman to pump and dump her. You know that's one thing they won't reject. But marrying her, oh no, can't do that.
that
Look
rejection is
at
a
white
must.
men that have divestors choose. Yeah, whatever. You just can't compete. There's going to be so many. 73% has children by black men, meaning what? I don't even know what that 70%, 3% of children by black men, meaning they choose us first. Well, okay, they're choosing you first, but you're pumping, dumping them. You're leaving them by themselves.
Yeah,
You're making
and
it.
you're Brent, don't even get into that with it, because
Yeah.
the out of wedlock birth rate for black men is actually at 95%, and that includes black, Hispanic, and white women. So, and that's in the United States, and it's also like that in I from my understanding, there was a national health crisis in one of the European countries because so many black men were leaving white women single mothers. So that's
Yep.
something that I might have to discuss with Mark. He can probably tell me that, because that's something that I was getting emails on a couple of months ago. But moving forward, like I was saying, this is why black women, we need to gravitate towards white men, because they know how to handle these men. And that's basically it. Who agrees
Yeah,
with me?
I
I
agree.
agree with you.
Divest.
yeah. And La Raza, I would never marry a black woman that was open to Caucasian males. Yes, sir, you would. You want the black woman the white man has. You know why? Because she's at the top of the top. She's the cream of the crop. She's the successful business owner. She's the one killing it in the corporate world. She's the most traditional woman of faith. She's the loving mother. She's the one that's making it happen. Oh, yeah, you would take the black woman that's with white men. You dang sure would. Don't lie to me. You're full of
That's why
crap.
they're not with these mammies and pygmies, because they
You
waiting
know
for
what? I
us.
don't.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Hold on for a second. Did they run out of liquor stores for you to rob? Is that why you're here? Is that why you're here? Do you need me to find you a liquor store to rob? That's why they're here, because they're never here. So I think he probably ran out of liquor store convenience stores to rob, because usually
And
they're never here.
carjacking too. They're doing all kind of nonsense.
Have you
Yeah.
noticed that these guys won't come
I'm
up on the
telling
panel
you.
and actually have a decent conversation with us? They have to put their comments in the comments box. They won't come and talk to us on here.
Yeah. Black women with white men. What do you say?
Swine eaters.
Equal swine
L-
eaters.
LOL. Black women married to white men definitely isn't the cream of the crop. Oh, okay. What are some black women that married white men? Can we explore this? Serena Williams, super athlete, tennis player. Eve married a white billionaire. Di- Di- Donna Summer. She was married to a white man.
Grace Hightower was married to Robert De Niro.
Serena
Yeah,
Williams.
yeah. Diane Carroll married a white man. Let's see. Diana Ross married a white man. Oh yeah,
Bobby.
Iman married David
Precious
Bowie.
married a white man.
Yeah. So these aren't the cream of the crop, really? Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. No, it's just you're not the cream of the crop. You're a beta king without a kingdom. You don't have a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of. You just all you got to do is cup your hand and piss in it and throw it somewhere. I mean,
That person probably on welfare, Brent.
You know what it is? You know what's the best part about this?
From the
though?
white man.
You know what it is? You know what's the best part about it is that
let me
these
say
guys
this,
have
too.
so much control.
You know what's funny? Candace Owens married a white man. Yeah, that's another one. Yeah, I mean, there's many more. Black women that are successful aren't stupid. They're going to the men that are going to provide the best for them. They're not going in your community, La Raza, Africana. They're not coming for you, brother. You're a loser. You're lost. All you can do is whine and complain.
They're gonna end up marrying their mother because
You're
they're the one that
conquered.
want them to come to existence. So yeah, I think that's what's gonna happen because these females that refuse to stop birthing them to life, they're gonna have to marry their own sons. Because unfortunately, when they grow up to be male, they don't marry any of them. They go marry everything and everyone that are not black.
Well, that's the Beta King way. Beta King. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So they gotta go make peace with their mothers because that's the only chance they're gonna get laying down with a black women because. Because I swear to God, all these female claim that these sons that they are burnt into existence are good black males. I'm like, how come when they grow up, none of them marry any of y'all? They go marry everything and everyone else, but y'all bitches need to start marry your own son since they're good, and then the next female son is not gonna marry you. So y'all need to come together and find out how to make this nonsense legal so that you bitches can marry your son. Because unfortunately, none of them are marrying y'all.
Well, and it's like Mama and the Beta King. Oh yeah.
Yeah, they should make that legal. Yeah, because pretty much we're not gonna see them, and then whoever chooses to birth them gonna have to be their wife.
Well, yeah, and you know what? Well, the black women are going to other communities because they have no choice. It's survival at this point.
Exactly.
Saying we're going to be extinct. Well, you're not even marrying the women. Well, I guess you could pump and dump and keep it going, but then
no, they're not going to be extinct because as long as their mother could still give birth, they could just make kids with their mothers.
Well, I mean, they got the Pick Misha Brigade that will fight their battles and coddle them and kiss their boo-boos.
Most of them are going to be toe tagged. They're not going to exist anymore. The ones that are going to exist is us. Okay? So the ones that are, going away from them is us. The Pick Misha, it's going to be time where they are going to be toe tagged and then it's going to be left them and their mothers. So I want them to try to make this shit legal so they could have kids with their mother so they could, save that nonsense backward community. This is nonsense.
You know what? I was thinking about that. You know what? I was thinking maybe they ought to do like King Tut. You ever studied that? I mean, they had like 4 to 6 generations of brother and sister having children.
Yeah,
keep the royal blood. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, they are toe tagging these pick me whenever they feel like it, whenever they want, and that's these pick me choice. And I'm all for it. If they like it, I love it. That's why I have no empathy or sympathy for any of them when they go down, because they love taking L and they love being toe tagged by these nonsense. Once they done toe tag them, they're gonna have their mother left to procreate with, and I think it should be legal.
Hey, pro leadership. La Raza don't want to come up, does he?
No,
pretty boy Cyrus.
Have you seen what Josh was saying? He told
No, they never really do want to come up. They'll, they never do. They don't come
They
up on
scared
this
of white
channel.
They
men.
don't
Of
want
course
to
they're
talk
not
to
gonna
real
come. If
men.
it was us
No, it
women,
is.
they would.
Well, just
Yeah.
saying about La Raza growing a pair of balls, it might be because he's actually cut them off because he's one of these transgender men.
Yeah, maybe, or he's in the transgenders. That's why. That's why. Hey, that maybe that's why these women on the panel are rejected because they're not trans. They're real women. I think that's. I think that I think they want the transgenders. I
Oh
think that's
boy.
what it is.
Let me tell you
But
something.
that's fact.
There is so much bisexual activity going on. Matter of fact, before let me not talk. Let me bring up that article to prove to you how many black men
okay.
are bisexual in this community. Any of you, just you can mind.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, that's a really big problem in the community. A lot of the guys that I knew back in high school, a lot of them are either trans or very, very gay now.
Yeah. Well, I mean it's happening. I mean, I watched what was that show? Was it Love and Hip Hop or Hip Hop? Or Real Housewives of Atlanta. There's a lot of gay men there. You see them on the shows. These women have a lot of gay friends, and I'm not going in on gay men, but I'm just saying. I mean, maybe he's one that wants that transgender. I mean, maybe you could get a man and woman at the same time. I don't know. Maybe it's kind of like his fantasy
That's
because
definitely their fantasy.
honestly, they don't want black women. So okay, bring them over here. You know what? And look, I want more black women in my community. People are saying, well, they'd F it up. No, they wouldn't. They'd make it better. The Beta Kings would come in and destroy the community. Let me tell you that. But black women, no, they'd make it better. They'd make it more, more successful, more of a loving place. Atlanta has the second gayest city in the United States behind San Francisco. Yeah. There's a lot of gay dudes in Atlanta. Seriously. But that's their choice. But only behind San Francisco. So that says something.
Yeah, and aren't white people still technically the majority?
Yeah, white people are. Hispanics are going to eventually become the majority. They're going to eventually come the majority in this country. But right now, white people are the majority. And the thing of it is, and these guys say, well, you control everything, you have the power. You know what? You're right. And white men, you always had access to black women. You can have it. Yes, we can. And you know what? I'm going to have access to black women. I already have. And you know what? This thing that they always say, well, you got white privilege. Well, I don't know about that, but the privilege I do have is being married to a black woman. That trumps any type of privilege. There's no white privilege that can give me more of a blessing than being married to a black woman. And in fact, I cashed in that white privilege for that. So, yeah, whatever. Say what you want, but you're throwing away your greatest asset. You are. And Pretty Boy Cyrus, you're throwing away black women that are the most beautiful, most loving women on earth. But go ahead, throw them to the side because me and Mark will be there to swoop them up.
Exactly.
So it is what it is.
Yeah, black men are definitely still mentally left on the plantation. They refuse to leave the plantation. Like they're still getting whipped in the back on the plantation while black women have ran away because we're tired of getting beat on the back. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, these Beta Kings want to take over the plantation. I've heard them say online, we should have done what white people did. We should do that. Okay, that's what you want. I mean, it's so bizarre. You're fighting white supremacy with white supremacy. Let this make sense. They attack women for their skin complexion, but cry about white supremacy. They oppress black women by pump and dumping them and not marrying them and then complain about white supremacy.
Yeah,
Really?
and when they complain, they can only go in the comments. They can't actually come and face us on the panel and actually talk to us.
Yeah, they can't. But here's the thing: you're oppressing black women today, and you're going to complain about the past. You're reliving the past, and in fact, you embrace the evil white men of the past because you want to be like them. Where we're trying to get away from that crap. We're trying to uplift black women, love them, make them our wives. But you're not. Our marriages last longer than yours do. Seriously. But okay, we'll go into the past if you want to feel better. But you're not performing in 2022. You're not successful in 2022 because you're not doing what a man should do. You could lay down with a woman, but you can't marry her. You can impregnate her, but you can't be a father. You can complain about black women destroying the community when you're doing it yourself. I mean, at this point, black women need to divest. At this point, black women need to open up their options. And seriously, if you look at it logically, what are they to do? And when they do battle for you and fight your battles, when they do pour in their heart and soul into you and love you with everything, you pump and dump them too and go to the next one. So, whatever. The Caucasians on this planet, kids will look more like me than them. Okay, that's cool. Hey, if that goes that way, if we all turn black, hey, I'm for it too. Let's turn it black. You want to go in with that? Hey, I'm doing my part. I procreated with a black woman. I'm turning it black. Dr. Umar, you says when black people have kids with white people, they all turn black. Okay, let's turn it black. Let's do it. Hey, I'm on board. I don't give a damn what skin complexion my kids are. What I care about is that they're successful, they're loving, good people. That's all I care about. What color they come out is, I don't care. Because, see, I don't worship my skin tone like you do, La Raza. You worship your skin tone. You think you're better than somebody else. You're a racial supremacist. That's what you are. It's the same thing as white supremacy. It's just putting a black face on it. Seriously.
Yeah, black supremacy is just as toxic. Sorry, yeah, black supremacy is just as bad, if not actually kind of worse. Because it's a construct where you're dealing with a group of men who they don't know how to lead, provide, protect, or anything, and with that type of mindset, it's actually pretty worse.
Yeah, I want to go back and do one of the comments on the chat where Star said about black people enslaved 10 times more white people than in the North African slave trade. And what they forget is that these men in the chat have got this slavery mentality. And don't forget, it was the black people that sold their own people into slavery, yet they're trying to blame us for it.
Yes.
Exactly.
And here's the thing. You know what? All of us are descendants of slaves. All of us are descendants of slave owners. Every human being on this earth. And let me tell you, slavery happened on every continent, every country. Tell me a country that didn't have slavery, and I'll call you a liar. Tell me a race of people that never had slaves, and I'll call you a liar. And the thing of it is, you know, you're looking at American history. You know, the Spanish slave trade was, what, 3-4 times bigger than what we did in the U.S.? Nobody goes in on that. You know, the Arabs had many, many slaves. Nobody goes in on that. Africans enslaved each other before the Europeans ever hit the shores. And us Europeans, we enslaved each other along with it. We all did it. Native Americans enslaved each other when they conquered each other. Look, it happened across the world. Back in the day, it was about power. It was about getting resources and wealth. And people crushed each other. Men conquered other men. And you know what? The ones they didn't get rid of, they made them slaves. And it's evil, it's wrong, it should have never happened, but that's how the world was back in the day. And yeah, we gotten civilized and said, look, this ain't right. I know the British were like, we ain't doing this no more. This is evil.
Mm.
And
Brent,
what?
can I ask you a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
How come whenever these Dusties diverse to your female, like the white women, you never hear them talk about a slave? Only when it's us,
Yeah,
when
'cause
we try to love
it's when it
ourselves.
suits them. That's why.
What is it?
You know,
I said they don't complain because obviously they can divest with white women, and that's they're more than happy to do that. But when you black women want to come with us white men, that is the most shocking thing for them to believe, and that's why they start kicking off, because they know that with the black women, they know they're losing treasure.
yeah. Well,
Yeah, that's the only time I'm hearing these racial nonsense. It's only when it's us black women that want to move on to better options. But whenever they want to move on to whatever they're moving on to, you never hear nothing.
yeah, and their mentality is this is how they think. Look, they think, okay, for black women to be with a white man, she's a traitor, she's a bedwitch, all this stuff, right? And calling her that in today's world where slavery don't exist don't make sense, but they do it. But the way they see it, and I've heard them talk about this, is it's wrong for black women because they're traitors if they leave the black man. But it's courageous for a black man to do it because he's getting back at the white man for what he did in the past. So it's like they make up this thing where it's okay for them to do it because they're fighting the good fight. But black women, you can't do that because you're a sellout. You're a traitor. That's the mentality they have. And
that's why I don't listen to any of them, including the ones in my family.
But you see, that's the thing, though. I don't want to fight. I want to have fun.
Yeah, but here's the thing. That's what they do, and
I know.
It's their way of.
You got to understand that they will use history to manipulate us. That's what this whole entire community does, by making us view white men like sex with white men is viewing sex with the slave master. Now, me, I don't mind having sex with the slave master because I'd rather have sex with him than the slave. But that's just me.
Oh man! Hey, they're going to hate you for saying that.
Real talk. Me too.
If that motivates me even more to sleep with him, because you have to understand that my reaction to white men is feminine. Most black women have a masculine reaction to white men. I have a feminine reaction towards them. So that is what it is.
Yes. Oh my goodness. It's just something about. Let me stop Thurston.
Well, hey, look. You know what? Hey, I want to say something for La Raza, and I'm going to do a little history for you. And here's the thing: white men and black women are meant to be with each other.
Amen.
Okay, and that's God's purpose right now, and it's going to happen more and more. And even when us white men were at our worst, even when we were the most evil men on the planet, okay, black women were still attracted to us. And when we came to the shores of Africa, there were black women that wore bells to let the white men know that that they were into us and that we could hook up. And La Raza, did you know that? And all through time, white men have been with black women. And during the Jim Crow era, when it was illegal, us white men had 2 sets of families because we love black women. And you know what? They wanted to be with us too. And even if we could come together during the most horrible, evil time, when white men are at their worst, and now today when we're at our best, you don't think black women are going to love us for that? Oh, look. You know what? It's going to happen. You can't stop it. And look, when we were at our worst, so was the rest of the world. You just don't see that. You only see white people as evil and black people as good. And I get it. But there are evil in all groups. So, but we're going to get with black women, and things are going to change. They're changing already, and the divestment movement is going to grow even bigger and bigger and bigger. And I support it. And the reason I support it is because black women will have more opportunity. They'll be in a safer place. They'll be more loved. They'll have more resources. Their children will do better. And you know what? You got to either show that you're the better option, or you just got to accept what's coming. Just saying. Anyway.
Guess what, you guys? You see these trolls on the comment section that
Yeah.
are talking their nonsense?
Mhm.
I bet you once this life is over, they're gonna toe tag their picnisha.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna disrespect their mothers.
Yeah, go back and find their own Karens as well.
Mhm. That's what they do.
Hey. Oh yeah, yeah. They're going to get mad at their pick Misha. They're going to get all so insecure and lash out on her, and she's going to say, "What? I fought the good fight for you. I called them white supremacists, like you said. Please don't hit me."
It's
Yeah.
you know what it is. They're very insecure. Like they're so brainwashed. It's just weird. Black women sometimes are so weird to me. They're not even normal. It's like they're so disconnected from being a woman that it's sad. It really is.
Yeah, sadly, a lot of black women choose blackness before their womanhood.
Yeah.
Well, it's very unfortunate, but I'm just waiting until these Dusty finish them all, because eventually that's what's gonna happen. And then since they give us black women and white men the power, we're gonna put them in their place. We're gonna show them who's the kid, because they are overgrown toddler, and we're gonna treat them as such.
Yeah, it's funny. They keep talking. Oh, everybody's turning black, so they're winning. Okay, you're winning. I'm ready to turn it black. Hey, Mark, you ready? We've been
Yeah,
turning it. We've been
100%
turning.
ready.
Yeah, we've been turning it black. We've been having biracial children. I mean, hey, I got 2 daughters and a son that are biracial, so I'm doing my part. Hey, Tyrone. Hey, find you a Becky that loves you and marry her. Have children. I encourage that. Do that. Look, and encourage your sisters to open up their options and get with that Brad that's got it going on. The one that looks like Brad Pitt, that's a successful businessman. Tell her, do it. Do it.
And the Brad that will look after them more than what they can.
Yeah. And in fact, that takes the pressure. If you don't want to marry black women, let us do it. Hey, you don't want to get married? Hey, their problem. It's their fault. Black women, let us marry them. Seriously. Black women, come to my neighborhood. I got a beautiful neighborhood. It's out in the suburbs. It's mostly white and Hispanic, but that's okay. They love black people up here. There's a number of interracial couples up here. Successful black women just tearing it up in the corporate world. Come to my neighborhood. Seriously. And you know what? My neighborhood is more safer than 98% of the black neighborhoods in America. I guarantee it.
Okay, you guys, I have another question.
Okay.
I'm trying to reach out to everyone I can, like the senator, the mayor, the attorney general, everybody.
Okay.
Because my whole thing is, I personally don't think that white men should be provide to these pygmies making kids out of wedlock, and I think giving them welfare and food stamps should be illegal, especially if they're gonna use it to talk crap about white men. Because these same female that are saying that they don't like white men, or the the same female that are on welfare Section 8, because apparently these dusts are not providing for any of them, because these same dusts are getting everything that the white men are giving them as necessity, you know? So I don't think it's fair, just like poor white leadership were saying that white men should be taking care of female that they don't have access to. You know, these dusties need to man up and do what they need to do for these female, but they're not gonna do it. Instead, they're gonna toe tag them, and I'm all for that one too.
Oh, here we go, La Raza. You're dating colonists. You're definitely not worried of being wed. Okay. Sometimes look, colonization. Let's talk about that. Look, colonization it wasn't always a bad thing. Bringing in resources and technology to another country. So some of these African countries that were colonized are doing very well economically. A lot of black people are wealthy in these countries, and all you people that and then La Raza and these troll jokers out there. Look at America. You say we're so racist and awful. The most black millionaires in the world are in America. Let me just say that. Most of the black millionaires are in America. Okay? There's some in the UK too. So if we're so racist, how can you be millionaires in a country that's dominated by white people? You know, by the numbers. There are black people running our country today. And you'll say, well, white people are controlling everything. Well, most white people are, because we are the majority. There's more of us. But there are black people that are leading the way too. It just, you're too much of a beta to see the truth. You're too much of a beta to take responsibility. All you can do is look at the past, blame white people, and not take care of your women. And what's that getting you? What's that getting any of us? We're all paying for your degeneracy. We're all paying for your lack of manhood. We're all paying for your lack of responsibility.
When you say your women, do you mean white women? Because that's who they claim that's their women. I'm not sure you saying you referring to
Okay.
us, Brent.
Well,
Because
whatever.
white women are their women, and they not even provide for them.
Yeah, whatever women they choose to be with is fine. Just provide and protect those women, because us as men, our job is to protect women, regardless of the race. You know, I don't have a desire to be with a white woman, but I love her and I'll protect her. I mean, come on. Seriously? And you can be with the white woman, Tyrone, but you're supposed to protect all women. That's what you do, right? If you're a man, that's what you do. What are you doing? Get that beta.
If they're too interested in defending black women, come up here and talk to us. But they won't, because they know that they'll get talked down all the time, because they know that we are the ones that are fully protecting these black women, yet they can't be bothered to come and talk to us.
Yeah, because they're weak. He's a keyboard warrior. And Afro descendants are the future. The majority of divestors are continuing. God. Okay, fine. Okay, so we'll be a darker complexion. That's cool. I'm all for it. Like I said, I'm ready to turn it black. Well, I already have been. I'm doing my part. If you think that's a good thing, I do too.
Yeah,
let's turn it. Hey, let's turn
Brent, I want to say something real quick.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to cut you off. I'm so sorry. I'm trying to figure out what is wrong with being a colonizer. With being a colonizer?
I don't know.
Because I don't get that. Being a colonizer, that's a very masculine position.
Yeah.
If they're so tired of colonizers, then they need to get off the internet, because a colonizer sure did invent this internet.
Yeah. And hey, I'm going to use my mind colonization powers. because that's what they accuse.
Well,
Hey,
that means
somebody's
that Afro Puff Queen, hold on for a second. Afro Puff Queen, and why should Black women settle for nothing? You guys need to send me your email address. I'm going to put my email address. You guys have to email me. You'll be up for the private discussion. So that's going to be a private discussion. That's going to be an offline discussion. You guys would be two good candidates for that discussion. But you guys can move on. I'm going to have to end this live soon because I have to go to an event
okay.
in the morning.
Oh, wait, hold on.
But
Where's your
yep,
email?
but guys,
Where's your
any
email?
conclusion, guys?
Yeah, where's your email? Sorry, where's your email?
Yeah, where's your email?
Hey, yeah, we could do a conclusion, and whoever wants to go first, or I'll go first, or it don't matter.
I guess my conclusion would be Black women, please divest. Please divest. Like, divest from Blackistan. Divest from the pick-me's, the mammies. Divest. Because there's nothing left for you in this community. You're going to end up in a casket messing around in this community. Or community. So please, divest.
Okay.
Okay, I'll go next. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Hello? Okay, Black women, let me tell you something. You guys have to make your own choice and decision. I'm not gonna tell y'all what to do because unfortunately it never works. You guys always end up doing whatever you want to do it. But my best advice for you all is to choose yourself. You know, so whichever way you guys decide to go to, just know that everything have consequences to it. So you can either diverse and save your life, or stay in being a pick me and go 6 feet under next to Kevin Samuel. Good night, everybody.
Okay. Oh,
Okay,
all
who's
right.
next?
I just want to say to the women out there, just divest over to us white men, because come to us, we'll have our arms open wide for you guys, for you ladies, and I was saying, avoid these stupid clowns that are in the chat from Blackistan.
Okay. Awesome. All right, let me get my closing. And look, and I'm speaking to Black women, okay? You know how I feel about Black women. I've exclusively dated Black women my whole life. I'm married to a Black woman. Been married almost 30 years now. Okay. I have biracial children I raised that are successful, college educated, living their best life. And what I would say to Black women, make it about you. It's time you put yourself first. Black women, you need a man that's going to be a true man, that's going to love you, respect you, and protect you, take care of you. Okay? You're not here to bring 50-50 to the table and lift up men. If a man can't lift himself up, he don't deserve you. Black women, make it about you. You know what? Go for the best option, divest, get out of that mindset, get out of that community that's not treating you right. Don't go the pick Misha way, because it only ends to a dead end. You'll be used for that time. They'll love you for a little bit, and then when your beauty, your youth wears off, you're gone. So go to a man that's going to love you forever, for as long as you're on this earth. Divest, Black women. Do you. Do what's best for you, Black women, because you know what? You are the best and you deserve the best. Okay? And that's what I'm going to say.
Afro
Okay.
Puff Queen, would you like to say something?
Oh, I thought I did say something. I must have been on mute.
Oh, you did?
Oh, yeah, I did. I
Okay.
think I was just on mute. But yeah, I think I
Okay,
was
go
saying,
ahead.
yeah, just Black women need to divest from this community, because I would hate to see it more Black women dying, just rotting in these caskets because they could not get away from a community that hates them. So yeah, that's what I have to say.
Awesome. Well, this was an awesome live tonight. I enjoyed it. I like going in on the trolls.
Me
These
too.
beta males are you know,
I love
I
it
wish
too.
they would have came up. I would have loved to talk to them.
Oh, they're not
They're
going to
too
do that. They're afraid.
Yeah, as you say,
that
they're keyboard warriors. They don't want to come and talk to us.
yeah, they're chicken-ish.
They've probably got their Karen waiting at home for them.
Yeah. Yeah, they do.
Now,
They probably
I'm
got
going to, yeah, there's a private chat that we have to do. Brent, I sent you that video. Did you look at it yet? Without mentioning it too much. I don't want to mention any content creators or nothing like that. Did you take a look at it yet?
not yet. Well,
I send it to you too, Mark.
Okay, I'll have a look.
I'll look at it.
Okay, yeah, I'll send it to you guys again. I think we definitely need to do a private video on that.
Okay.
But I'm gonna send it to you guys because it's definitely this is something that you guys definitely need to hear that I think that we need to speak to about in private. But moving forward, does anybody else have anything else to say? Because I'm gonna wrap it up for the night.
No,
No. I hope I emailed you with the right email. I don't know if it went through, but yeah.
Okay, I'll make sure I'll keep putting the email in the chat box. I'm gonna do my closing statement. Thank you guys so much for being on my live. Let me know what will be if you guys want to do a part 2 of this or not. Do you guys would like to do a part 2 of this?
Yeah, I'm up for it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Yes. I would
All
love
right,
it.
so
Yeah.
we'll have a part 2 probably in the next couple of days or so. Just email me your schedules.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to
Okay.
do my closing statement now. Thank you so much for being on the live. And Brent, you're going live at what time?
Here in a few minutes after we get done. It's going to be a short one.
Okay. Okay,
I'm just
everybody, put your page in the subscription box, so everybody else can contact you guys and contact your page. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Brent, so much. I appreciate you guys being here.
Thank you.
Good night.
Good night.
No problem. Okay, Afro Puff, thank you so much for being here. So once again, this is pro-white male leadership. Okay, Black women, you heard it from the horse's mouth. It is time for us to get really serious right now and move away from this community, this culture, and this race. This is not a healthy environment for us. And there is no reason for us to continue this culture anymore. It is time for us to move forward with another group of men. I am pro-white male leadership, and I'll see you next time.